in the summer era so far. The teams, Helens have Wellens at fullback, Hall, Iro, Hoppy and Sullivan. It's Martin and Long at half. And the forwards, Ferrelli, Cunningham, O'Neill, Joint, Jubilangi, and John Thorpe moves forward. And the bench is occupied by Matautia, Stewart, West and Stankovic. The coach is Ian Milne. Birthday this week, his father and his twin sister over from Australia to help him celebrate. The Wolves of Warrington, Penny at fullback, Costa returns. He's missed the last 18 with a broken arm. His 100th Super League appearance. Alan Hunt, formerly with Alan Love in the centre, with Cowell on the wing. Another former Steve Breers alongside the effervescent Alan Langer. And the forwards, Andrew G, Danny Farah, Mark Hilton, Steve McCurry, Ian Norton, Tawera Nikai. And the subs must be yet another Saint, ex-Saint, Issei, Noon and Peters. Coaches, Darrell Van de Bell. All the Warrington Wolves know that their last win against St Helens came along in September 1995. 28-16 at home, Lee Penn scored try. Mark Forster and Mark Hilton, the only survivors in the lineup tonight. It was Jonathan Davis' final appearance for the Wolves, by the way, with 5 goals and 1 goal. They have beaten Leeds and the Bulls at home this year, but it has been a season of underachievement for Darrell Van de Bell and company. The Warrington Wolves, with their supporters behind them, on this their best run of the year. Alan Langer, 34 years of age, and he has confirmed that he will be back here in Super League next year, when Warrington will have the likes of Kevin Campion from the Brisbane Broncos lining up in their starting side. Having seen Kevin Campion performing in the match against the Parramatta Eels, Kevin Campion will be a welcome addition to the Warrington lineup for next year. But the champions of Helens know there is no margin for error. They will have to win all 5 of their remaining games to enter the playoffs as league leaders. And it's a tall order. They have to visit Leeds, and then they entertain Wigan in the final match of the weekly round. Those 2 matches, I think, will probably decide whether Saints finish top of the tree or not. Well, they won at Witherspoon 47-34 in May. They won here 50-20 in June. This is the 3rd meeting of the 2 sides in Super League this year. And the entertainers, 140 tries scored, 85 conceded. Sean Long, 19 tries. Chris Joyce, their captain, is their top tackler. Joyce, who has an Irish parent, as he leads the Saints out. There he is, will play for Ireland in the World Cup this year. Formidable place this. Ian Millwood looking for an early birthday present. Greg Ward is coaching. Of course, he was with Lee in the Northern Sport Premiership before he came here. But they have 9 of 59 goals in Super League since the competition began. Portrait knows the road for Chris Joyce and co.
Certainly will be that they will be smarting from that loss. It was a strong loss against the Wakefield Wildcats. I'm sure that coach Ian Millwood will want a vast improvement from last weekend.
Yes, he knows there's no margin for error. Saints against Warrington Wolves then were underway. This is the first set of 6. And Saints with the first use of the football. Stephen O'Neill promptly on his way. No zero at the end of the year. Playing it to Cunningham. Then he puts it in field at Sculthorpe. Formerly with the Warrington Wolves, Sculthorpe became the game's costliest forward when he moved to Nosey Road from Witherspoon. Sean Long gets the ball away, but it was not the best pass. Throwing up all over the top of the grounded dwellers. John Connolly, the referee. Oh, not looked as though he tripped Keane running his head.
Well, it was a couple of throws, and you're allowed to do that. You saw there that released the man just before he put the foot across. Now, it is allowed in our game. It's a practice that I have been wanting to have banned for quite some time.
I've never seen Toa Love use that sort of tackle before, but the man from Alan Langer
very poor start to this year. Ball knocked on. A little bit too fast.
Yeah, he's dipping as well, the pad.
They're working all the set moves in. Second time that they've run the triple run around. Long using the two dummy runners. Golthoff's pass always going to ground. What a season he's had though, Sean Long. Really has been on fire throughout the year.
Welcome back to Super League 5. Mark Forster, one of the 30-something club. He's missed 18 with a broken arm. St Helens with overwhelming in the opening 5 minutes. It's been all them, but now a chance for the Wolves to attack with Hilton. Good defence though, Hop, so too Tommy Moss. Para dummy half, Andrew G. Met head on by O'Neill, by Cousins, joined there also. 5 metres inside their own half, Warrington. Lee Breeze shapes a kick down the right-hand side, then angled his kick across field, and Steve Hall collects. Steve Hall off on a good run. He's got not much speed.
Straight into the face. And Steve Hall would have found that right on the nose. Well, what on earth was the Australian Langer thinking of there? That was just in off the tip or off the top of the ball. That was a... Let's have a look and... Well, I've seen him sent off for less malicious left swing straight into the face of the winger.
Only the penalty.
Somewhat fortunate. There's no hint of incident there. That was intended.
This is O'Neill now. Forster Helens. 25 tries. Forster coming against Warrington here. 1997 for Julian O'Neill. Here's Apollo Perolini. Pass is due at the end of this Super League season. And penalty. Warrington very, very slow to get off the grounded player.
Danny Farrell. Eternity there. You have to release him. They failed to do that. Been around a long time as Danny Farrell the hooker. But this could be costly.
Yes, Joint is running it. He's within a metre of the line. He's almost there. The third penalty to Warrington have yet to be given one by John Connolly. Here is Martin. Short ball to Tuilangi. He shaped and float the line and then just popped it up for Tui.
Super skills there.
Oh. Pass out wide, intercepted. Steve Hall with the tackle. It's on Mark Forster.
Well spotted. An experienced Forster there. Read it extremely well. Long ball out wide. Both play a bit.
All penalised.
I wasn't sure that Ian Millwood would have been happy with the passages of play there. Intercept, of course. And they've given away silly penalty. First time really that Warrington in a position to launch anything.
Big hit by Perolini on Marcus. For Warrington in the danger zone. This is Andrew G. Within 10 metres of the line now.
Watch for the blind side swing.
And it's with Nick out on that blind side. Wide it goes to Alan. He took that very well. That's a great tackle by Sean. Nick out. Langer. Langer then long ball to Lee Breers. Breers shaking for the kick. Trying to dance his way through himself. Again Perolini with the tackle. Secure. Farah to Langer. Here's Alan Hunt. Try scorer par excellence for when he was in the white and red of the Saints career. Seventh on their all-time scoring chart. It could be back to zero. This it is. Warrington have 6. This is Ian.
Certainly came off Sean Long. All the crowd are upset about that. Went behind Langer. And quite St. Helens.
No, Warrington trying to exert more pressure in the shape of Andrew G. And he flicks it away from Perolini and McCurry from stopping from close range. But Cunningham
realise the fullback, Penny, they all thought that that'll be given a try. Forearm, full control of it. Didn't have to be the fingertips. It'll be DIY time, but he really utilised the fullback came out. Safe to a sucker.
And
Right
the try
into it.
given to Alan Langer. Try against St Helens in April also. Remember, he stole the ball from Tommy Martin over the try line.
Watch how the fullback was going to get into that position. You can see there, Reggie Tuilangi. He just moves out wide, reads the gap, and the experience of Alfie. Thank you very much indeed. Goes low. Try.
First try in 6 games for Alan Langer. And Lee Freeman now with the opportunity to level the scores with this kick. Slides the kick over the top of the bar. So the scores are level at Nosey Road. 6 points all.
There's the Tuilangi. The man arrowed. That's the fullback, Lee Penny. Gap appears. Langer sweeps through. It'll be as fast as it was 4 or 5 years ago, but certainly has the skills and the guile.
Mark Hilton to the ball back at this line again. His head went to O'Neill. It was a marginal decision by John Crosby, but he shook his head immediately.
It's a big hit. That looks over the top of the shoulders. Oh, this is getting tasty.
Farah to Allen. Holton just inside his own half. Farah, ball inside. Andrew G running.
Pretty solid defense, they're using a comprehensive defensive line as yet. Only when Warrington get close to their line do they wide, but great work with Corey.
The ball out the back door. Doubled up by Sean Hoppy.
Well, all that good work was done by a very poor pass in the end by the hard work and lost it. Element of a drop by Andrew G.
Well,
He's
Silver
okay.
wasn't yet. On him. He just dropped on the player.
Good work though from the Wolves. After that shot start, Tommy Martin. That's the second occasion. Farah's been caught. He's just given off.
Yes, he did.
Rather unfortunately. Yeah, you can see there a bit of blood streaming through, and I don't think Mr. Farah knew what on earth was happening at this point in time. Claret and show. Straight move. No doubt. He's a tough guy. He'll be back in a few minutes.
He's up in the dressing room for a stitch inserted in the eye, and Paul Newton has come on to replace him. He's in the blood bin. Long movement, Wellens down the right side, hauled down by Mark Coulter. Here is Tuilangi.
Well, they displayed Wakefield last weekend. Their ball retention was poor indeed. In fact, from the stats from last week, I think St. Helens came up with a Super League record. They completed it at each sets of 6 in the second. That is extremely low for any team, be it professional or amateur.
Certainly for a team that is looking for summit of the Super League and league leaders spot to take with them to the playoffs. Trying to put the memory of that defeat into Ian. They started but Warrington gradually back into this game.
Well, he's had enough of John He's calling Chris Joint over. Interfering in the play of the ball. Sorry, couldn't get on with wanting to do exactly that. Sean Hoppy was at fault, but skipper will get 2 words of warning, and it'll be yellow card time.
So that's both sides. John Connolly will keep to his word.
Well, the reason why Lang press is penalty. He couldn't understand why he should have got a warning as well. His side, that is.
6, 4 of them, Mr. Helens, and got Lee Penny.
Looks as touch forward, that one, but they got away with it.
Great tackle by Wellens. This is Langer. And it's forward.
Dropped it anyway.
The moment it left John Connolly of blue.
Good opportunity blown there. There was good work, but not getting this football. And you can see there that the St. Helens defence, they're hesitating. And if you do that against this guy, he'll run you ragged.
Hull will test it. They win for Warrington last week. Hull having lost today, that's the end of them as far as is concerned. And if Warrington here, it'll be the end of them also. So the top 5 will be settled once and for all.
Well, the one thing that Warrington are doing is that they are being extremely aggressive. Saints players, they're not taking too kindly to this. Whether they anticipated the evening stroll is anyone's guess, but they're not going to get one.
Well, it has always been that Warrington come here, that aggression forms part and parcel of the game plan.
Often the case, you know, when the side scores so early, as St. Helens did, should I say, they go to squeeze someone, they think, oh, this is going to be easily, he goes against them.
Well, Cowell is hauled to the floor by Tuolangi.
Well, certainly help their cause. They need to get in a couple of big hits here to the Saints defenders.
Off Forster, Alan Hunt, and puts the ball over the top, and Frears is leading the race himself. Wellens is lobbing after this, gets it on his own try line. And we've had the ball, and Frears rather stole the ball then. But we have this. That's great defence. Great defence from Lee Frears. Drop underneath the stick. Now, Wellens lost his footing, and I was just about to tell you we had the mother and father of a thunderstorm here now before the kick-off, and this pitch is very greasy.
Greasy or not, take away the fact that Lee Frears, the Warrington Wolves are truly up for this. We often speak about the fact that if you get into the opposition faces, then they don't like it. Well, good bit of play, but they went away with it.
Flat now because Martin went flat on his backside, and Paul Sculthorpe was the first to react. That was yet another indication of just how greasy this nosy road surface is. Whip, and I'm not so sure that Sculthorpe was onside.
Well, they never are these days, but the officials don't. I can't remember any side having to drop out from underneath the stick where there have been half a dozen in front of the
Running him down the short side. Tuolangi out-muscle him down there.
Well, he's the man that is leading the way. So's this fella.
Connolly.
Will lift this, but they needed it.
The last though. Maybe didn't hear the call. John Connolly. Saints Warrington here tonight. Next Sunday. What a match we have in prospect at the Championship Stadium. Wigan against Bradford. 12 all midweek. Last time we saw those two tangle at that stadium, it was regarded as one of the finest matches that Super League has ever seen. You get the chance to return next Sunday here on Sky Sports. And if you can't get to the game, which of course is the best way, well, join us here on Sky Sports. We'd be delighted to have you for what will be, well, it could even be a dress rehearsal for Old Trafford now.
Well, it's anything like what we had on Friday. Oh, that was a lack of understanding there. That is poor play. Why on earth they've got to prop forward in the half position anyways, beyond forwards are not known for their ball handling skills in regard to getting in at the play the ball area, as was proven.
It was rough.
To rough things up. on the big fella. And there was no doubt about it that he was on his super stuff. What was the forward could do about it? Dives early, slides on the surface. Boy, oh boy, the Saints needed that. They were well and truly on the
So along with the conversion attempt from an almost identical position that he kicked his kicks his second. The Helens have a 12-6 lead, and Tommy Martin is certainly repaying the fate of Ian Millwood. He was on the outer when Ellery Hanley was here. Millwood moved in. Martin moved on the inside field. And boy, oh boy, is he repaying it.
He has repaid it. And it looks as though he's enjoying himself ever so much this season.
Well, the long Martin combination, Steve, there's nothing much better than that in Super League at the moment.
And it's nice to see a side that, when they sort of just want to lift, can do it. I posed the question, fire in the belly. Martin certainly did.
Must have heard you.
Well, they were being battered, and it looked as though they didn't want to be part of the party. Pretty high, and he's got him. Frenchman, Gisek. Back over the top. Cunningham had a little bit of a look at the referee and said, "Come on." The penalty to give away. Twist and turn of this game so far. We now have to pose a question: can Warrington's defence be equal to the task?
To Martin, beautiful ball to Macautier.
No second phase.
Big hole in the middle. Good
Had
job
the-
of McCurry with his ankle.
He had the chance to. He really did have the opportunity. Oh, that's a poor pass.
Well, it's the second time that Tuilangi has lost possession. Penny's off on his way now. Hold down.
This was really challenging. Wasn't the best pass from the loose goal ball.
Tuilangi just couldn't hang on.
He's worked hard to Ilangi and he got it then, even though they're the offload. Really is hotting up this. Both sides now after the open exchanges quite happy to keep this ball alive. St. Helens will be ruining the fact that you went through had the opportunity to offload. There was no one there.
High tackle now on Gisa.
Pull it all square now. You gave me one. You were. Let's hope that both players
Here by Warrington, and the referee's got Alan Langer.
quick tap. And just lost.
Hey! Don't strike for that. Come on, get it!
Bring a smile to the face of Darrell Van That is for sure. Oh, no, it's from Alan Hunt. Really gave himself up there. And he took the knocked on.
Yes, he was in his way.
Well, he's wearing a pretty bright young.
Perolini, marauding run, gives it wide, Steve Hall.
He's over the fence line there.
Well, Mark Foster's only just, and this is a great tackle.
The right thing, Perolini. Knew that the wing is right outside and more speed. But the old Mark Forster was timid like that.
Penalty for
Well, it amazed me to say that some of these players we've seen this year, not the captains,
inside it comes. G.
Warrington quite happy to use a big forward, driving towards the middle. The skills, of course, with Frears and Langer. No man's land was always going towards the wide.
Sean Long, terrific defence. A big second run forward, and he's over the whitewash.
Yeah. Great upper body there. Pretty tight to run the blind side. They were well stacked. Only needed Long's strength to finish him off.
This is Paul Wellens. He's everywhere. Now Chris Joyce goes.
Through the tulips. That was an excellent step off the left foot there from the skipper.
Here's Sean Hoppy.
That's good work as well. Play the ball, catching the Warrington defence. They're on the back foot most of the time now. Offside. That's the reason why the captain, because it made no attempt to go back to 10. Sean Long was want to get on with this. There was only the full back. 10 metres back. 12 to select from Mr. Connolly.
Well, St Helens have designs on the grand final. They were there last year. They won the Super League trophy, of course. And Super League 5 this year, 14. Adults, they kick off at 6:30. And the number for information about the big event is 0113 244 114. And the Europe line will be open first thing in the morning. If you need any information at all about Old Trafford, which will be ringing to the sound of Super League on October 14th, get on the telephone. Ring Super League Europe. St Helens meanwhile are now within 3 metres. Cunningham. Along. Tommy Martin. Martin showed it again. Lost his footing. Was able to get up and give it to Ira. No, stop defence. Stop defence from Saints. Referee's not giving it yet. He wants to check whether a Warrington defender will get it out. Please. Tommy Martin has lost it.
Now the big question is, Tommy Martin has to go across the line of where the dummy runner is coming from. This is where he falls. You may find that he has, even though it was accidental. The video referee deemed that Mr. Tui now no real interference perhaps because of the fact that Martin slipped through. Maybe not an intentional. It's a 50-50 on that. By the way, it's TRY or NO. TRY.
He certainly took the player out, didn't he? And the video referee agrees. I think it's going to Warrington.
Well, that's extremely fortunate for Warrington because the last 4 or 5 minutes their defence really has been cut to ribbon.
Oh, and they've not found now with the penalty.
Well, we've had Langer knocking on in a wonderful position.
Oh, here goes now. Langer with a good finished off by Farah. On halfway.
Now this is the big problem that we're having now with this Warrington defence in and around the ruck area. They're being caught out.
Matauti just managing to hang on. Sean Long, Tommy Martin, dapped it over for Sullivan to chase. Powell had a little look over his shoulder. He's lost it.
But I think he's got it back. It'll be a dropout anyway. Surely no try. And John Connolly agrees with my decision on the fine count. Beautifully weighted kick. They got back all right, but real meal of it. Missed it, and the chance was there. Sullivan didn't realise it. And somehow, Cow retrieved the ball. Real let off.
Yes, the 20-year-old winger. He would have been in his map then. This now is Perolini again. They're drilling holes now in this Warrington defence. 10 minutes to half-time. Warrington beginning to tire a little. And Hall pushed away from one. gets it away. Out here. That's good defence though on that occasion by Coelho.
Well, Warrington are going back into that old habit that they showed early in the season where see how they hang off, then forward, and then take 3 steps back. Hesitation. You'll always get beaten if you start doing that in defence.
This is Iro now. By the video referee not long ago. Oh, a strong man.
It's got to be a penalty.
It has.
It's called play the ball. And they're beginning to lose the plot somewhat. The Wolves. Strength of this man.
And on his way to the bin here. Yellow card, Alan Hunt. Well, he said, didn't he? Any more interference to play the ball, someone on his way to the bin.
I think that Warrington side needed. Paul held there and he don't to interfere. And he knows that this will be pretty difficult now. About the rampant Saints. Especially this guy, Tuilangi, is working overtime, both in attack and defence.
Time away, goal ball, flick to Perolini again. It goes to Cunningham. Cunningham keeps it moving to Iro. Trying to go round Briers, who did well. Low. Nico all over the top of him. And there's another penalty here. Nico. Nico could be on his way to the bin.
Well, I think he's going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And there's a problem for one of the Saints players.
Yes, it is.
Perolini is limping on. It looks as though he could be finished for the game. He'll try to run it out, but twisted over on that left ankle. Some ball break. Taking the safety first option. Let's have a look at him.
So Ian Millwood asks Julian O'Neill to come back for Perolini, who goes off injured. Remember, Warrington down to 12 now. And Iro trying to way over the line. Resultant penalty. Hall went without it.
Good work from Lee Briers, but surely it must have been an offside. Unless, of course, put over the getting goal line. Now, Briers is claiming that he used his hand. The touch judge says the ball forward. Briers is... Now, Briers is offside. He wasn't square.
And he hit the ball.
Briers, I mean, he's not a... You know, you only can get away with that if both legs on the wide one in the in-goal area. Neither one.
Saints.
Oh! Big hit there from Penny.
Wasn't going to be fooled by that. He dummy. Here's Southport now. One goes to Sullivan. Try. And Steve McCurry nearly kicks the ball to the top of the stand. Sullivan with the try. In the corner. And all that pressure from St Helens. The penalty. The decision also to give them head seat run has come up with the goods for them.
Good play here. Beautiful long ball from the loose forward. And it was always going to be a problem with one man down. Alan Hunt, of course, in the sin bin. Wonderful situation. All came about from incident from Briers. Well, that's ridiculous that he thinks he can get away with that. The penalty anyway. 4-pointer. Perfect pass. Perfect finish too by Sullivan.
Anthony Sullivan with the try last week against Wake Forest was his first 5 games, and his last try on this ground was against Warrington in June. He appears to like the day Warrington come to town. So, 16-6. This kick from Sean is considerably more difficult than his first. He's about 1.5 meters from touch on this near side, and he's a left-footed kicker as well, so it's not the best angle. But Long with the opportunity to post 2 more points. Trying to draw towards the post, but
see how the sliding defence failed to slide out, really out wide. Sullivan took full advantage. This was a super pass though from Sculthorpe. Well worked. And the finish was standing. It's a problem now for Warrington. Remember, they still have Alan Hunt in the sin bin. And they are falling off the tackles.
Kick off on the ground, picked up by Paul. And the shadow is lengthening. We've got some late evening sunshine here at Knowsley Road after all the rain and the thunder and lightning. Alan Hunt in the sin bin.
And that's not been to Warrington's advantage. They really should have been utilising the high kick with Saints having the sun in their face. But really, two opportunities to be fair. They did come up with one great try from Alan Langer.
Touch of interference again, putting the ball on the floor though before he got to his feet. The chip over the top, it's for Joyce. Penny was brave.
To make a big decision there. It was a wonderful. The position of the fullback was standing.
He's got a bang as well. Lee Penny's in a bit of strife, as you can see. Warrington trying to work the ball out now of their own quarter. 12 men.
Left hip it is for the fullback.
Takes the tackle. Ball exactly 20 metres away from his own line. Gives it some width to Coe Love, but that's wonderful defence from Chris Joyce.
Well, again, Saints utilising this compact defence. They slide out when the ball comes wide. And that's a poor kick, really.
Right down the middle. Wellens did have to retreat to pick it up. Here goes Sullivan. Welsh International. Oh, but good chasing back and harrying by this Warrington 3. Led by Langer. Coe Love is in there as well. And also Will Cowell, and this is over the line.
The referee called hell if it is. It'll be a penalty. Well, it appears to have been stopped. Cowell wants to carry on.
Give him the ball. The first one, going to hell.
He shouted hell.
And they did full stop. It's a penalty.
Now, what on earth is John Connolly doing? Is he making up the rules as he goes on? Or what? Shouted hell. So if Cowell continues on, that's mystifying me. And that poor play.
Can have it back and reduce. Nick out. Langer. Followed by Chris Joyce. Minute and a half to go, first half. Warrington looking to post try to reduce the deficit at the break. Saints, of course, keep them out. Now Warrington trying to go inside Matautia.
Now they're watching little Alfie come up here.
It's with Langer.
Good defence. Did well from flow, but not the best.
Lee Penny fully recovered from the bang on the hip. Trying to go underneath to Alangi. Still a couple of tackles remaining. It's with Bria. They want the kick flick through. He's after it. Saints have got it back.
Neatly from Breers. Poppy made a real meal of it. And it was supposed to be an offside there, but I think Julian O'Neill just slid past the point where it came off. The St. Helens player. Such a nice option there for Breers.
O'Neill again, and he gets over the 40-metre mark before he takes the tackle. Must say, in his 4 years that he's been at Knowsley Road, Julian O'Neill has been a model of consistency. He's got on with his job in the most unfashionable way, an unsung hero. Oh, and Nick out, shaking out a pop at Wellens. It's been that sort of a match. Lovely dink over the top by Martin. Well watched though by Langer.
That'll do it.
That's half time. Van der Velde seen, followed quickly by Eastwood. 16 points to 6 Saints lead. Langer with the only try for the Saints. of occasion. But the Saints, they're 10 points to the good. And after the debacle that they had at Wakefield last week, they will be well pleased for all of that. It's a long way from one, this one.
Waiting. Finally over. Time to focus. Challenge ahead. A new Premiership season, but a different ball game. Same desire. Same ambition. Same commitment. The Premiership of Rugby Union. An elite 12 teams in a league of their own. Rugby Union, Bristol v South, next Saturday at 1:30 on Sky Sports 2.
With cutting-edge design, you can. And advanced technology, you can't. The Focus has always attracted attention. But with 1,500 cashback, it's easier to see why Ford demands look.
Stop! What are you doing? This bank is not ready yet. There's no money. There's no safe. There isn't even a roof.
Can't rush these things, guys. It's like Rouge.
Longer for a full taste, and it's only released when it's ready. Chris?
Rouge. We only let you drink it when it's ready.
Already. So at Specsavers Opticians, we make everything clear. All our spectacles are displayed with prices which include our frames and single vision lenses. The price you see is the price you'll pay. Complete price from Specsavers. Make sure there are no surprises. He walked into my life. In the and it's yes, it's beautiful. I'm going with better in God. He's going with but now we're beautiful. I think we're
Sport. Sport on the brain, sport on the body.
Cricket coming up for you next week. Action from the county championship as Leicestershire take on Lancashire. Our exclusively live coverage starts on Tuesday morning from 11 o'clock, Sky Sports 1, and for Sky digital viewers it's live and interactive on Sky Sports X. Half time here in the Super League, and St Helens ahead by 16 points to 6. Tommy Martin's 2 tries, 1 from Anthony, goals from Long, Langer with a try and Breers with a kick for the Warrington Wolves. Well, Ian Millwood just studying there. He's the man sitting down between the two doors, and he is just studying the notes he's made on that first half performance from St Helens. And down the corridor, Darrell van der Velde holding court, and he knows that Warrington have yet to beat St Helens in Super League. 40 minutes still back in this match. They're pretty aggressive, Warrington, aren't they? They usually are, to be fair, when they come here to Knowsley Road, but they have gone home in the past on the back of some pretty tidings, and they don't want to here this week because they're into this game on the back of their best winning sequence in Super League for over 12 months. 3 straight wins from the behind at half-time, although St Helens will still have Wakefield ringing in their ears from last week's season.
Yeah, they certainly will. We anticipated that they would come out, and they certainly started on fire, didn't they? But I must say that Warrington really did ever so well in that, shall we say, the mid part of that first half, mainly due to the fact that they really got into the St Helens faces. And I mentioned in the commentary that sometimes when you score the try extremely early in the game, mentally can go against you. And it was a try that came within actually the first 60 seconds. It was a beauty too, wasn't it? The way that they put them in a good position, Sean Long, and watch how they use Perolini as the first receiver. Tommy Martin comes around on the loop. No one got anywhere near him. But when you've got this guy on any side, Alan Langer, notice how he uses the fullback here, Lee Penny, to the dummy, Tuilangi goes out wide, nothing that Perolini could do about it. And at this point, it was a resurgent Warrington that came through to it. Something quite outstanding yet again to break the defence. Tommy Martin, see how slow he threw that dummy. Nothing that Hilton could do about it. And it looked as though Saints were going to take control, and in fact the next one they were denied, mainly due to the fact that watch how Tommy Martin flips, and Tuilangi makes contact with Alan Hunt. The try, it actually went to Iro. It was turned down by the video referee, but this was superb. Good build-up. Here's Breers. He was offside. Should have been a penalty. It didn't turn out that way, but from the scrum they set up, and Sculthorpe's long pass out wide. You can see that they were caught. Sullivan, one of the best finishers in the game, and St Helens, you feel that in the second half could run away with it. But the one thing about Warrington, every time they've come out after an ear bashing from their coach, Daniel van der Velde, they really have put in a good 10, 15 minutes. They'll have to, because St Helens look as though they are really out there to score plenty of points in the second half.
And we've mentioned, haven't we, the way that Warrington do try to rough up the opposition every time they come to Knowsley Road. And to Warrington, they've beaten Leeds and they've beaten Bradford this year, so it's somewhere in the bag, isn't it? It's there, just find it.
Oh, without doubt. Skills out there, and of course we've got Breers and Langer orchestrating things out there. Now, providing the forwards can give them a good platform, they can do that. But I just got the feeling that Ian Millward, the St Helens coach, would have had quite a few words to say to his charges. Only Tuilangi in the forwards impressed me in the first 40 minutes. I think we'll see a better performance by the pack in the second stanza.
Well, at this point, let me remind you, as usual, about the man of the match vote that you can become involved in. And the man of the match who plays out there on the pitch tonight goes home with the usual prize, the wristwatch. That will be adorning the arm of the man of the match this evening. And the coaching staff, of course, will choose the man of the match. But you can have your say, as always. Our viewers' competition running as ever, 09009 10 10 13. See if you can predict who the losing coach's choice will be. The prize, 2 tickets to that grand final at Old Trafford on the 14th of October. And every winner will go into the draw to win the box at Old Trafford on the big night. 09009 10 10 13, with about 20 minutes, as always, of this match remaining. Well, we are now starting to think, aren't we, about the grand final for Super League 5. In Australia, they're doing more than think about it. We can tell you now who the grand finalists are, because earlier on this morning, Brisbane Broncos beat the Parramatta Eels 16-10, a great fight back in the second half from the Eels. And yesterday, Newcastle Knights were beaten 20-26 by the Sydney Roosters, Graham Murray's team, in one of the great comebacks of semi-final series football in Australia. We've got highlights of both those matches in case you missed them live Wednesday at 8 o'clock on Sky Sports 3. That's in Rugby League World. And then next Sunday, the Broncos take on the Roosters in the grand final. It's the clock starts in the morning. Set your alarm clocks early for that. It's live from the Olympic Stadium, Australia. The Broncos against the Roosters. It's their grand final next Sunday at 6 in the morning. And it's live on Sky Sports 1. Well, they've got their grand finalists. St Helens are hoping they will be grand finalists of the Super League this year. And they they would go a long way towards securing the top spot going into the playoff series if they can overcome the Warrington Wolves here. But listen, Warrington won't be lying down and dying for them. They, remarkably, have top 5 hopes of their own.
The new season of the Premiership. Arsenal face Liverpool. No fatigue, no overmars. The Gunners reshuffle the pack to recapture winning ways. With the Reds building on the promise of last season. This rivalry. With and when friends meet, sparks will fly. Arsenal v Liverpool on 4th Monday Night Football, live and interactive tomorrow from 7 on Sports 1 and X-Factor.
The mobile phone is changing. Switch to BT new internet phone and you can email anyone in the world. So now for the same price as an ordinary mobile, you can keep in touch with whoever you, whenever you want. Surf the net. Surf the BT cell net.
Catalogue is out. Argos, brightest shop. Thanks for missing the football for me.
It's a pleasure.
I won't have it out minting till 3 in the morning.
Aren't you being a little overprotective? Daddy!
Smith, intense waiting.
Imagine your family was protected by your own secret army, who helped keep every service unitary clean. There's no need to be a Jetto, protector of you.
This is Kibler. Yeah.
Oh, smashing.
Well, serves the gas appliance and the washing machine in the same house that you're qualified and trained to do.
The actual drum was moving, but not moving around.
The drive belt that came off the drum, it also became damaged, so a new one.
The cooker's covered, fridge, freezer. Very much.
Great.
Brilliant. Thanks.
Hello, deal seekers! There are so many fantastic deals at Iceland on the voice. I just can't sleep. I've been up all night just thinking about these.
Buy one, get one free. Buy one, get one free. And this baby's half price.
Am I the only one who believes in fantastic deals? We believe! We believe!
What's it like being a soldier?
Are you ready to join the men of war? We are in the business of winning wars. Of military madness.
Hell,
World War II action when trumpets fade.
I'm not taking a bullet for anybody.
Russell. Soldier. This is where my command. And Kelsey Granner. Second Wars. Join the men of war tonight from 8:15 on Sky Movie Max.
Coming up tomorrow night, our first Monday night football of the new Premiership season. Arsenal against Liverpool. Exclusively live coverage starts tomorrow night from 7 o'clock Sky Sports 1. And for Sky digital viewers, it's live and interactive on Sky Sports Extra. Half-time at Nosey Road. Saints 16, Warrington 6. The Saints designs on top spot to take with them into the playoff series. So important, of course. It means they 2 bites of the cherry, and more importantly, they get a week off 1 week, and they get home runs all the way, they hope, to Old Trafford in the Grand Final. Tommy Martin, the man who has done most with Sean Long to propel them towards a 10-point lead in this match at the half-time interval. Irish international Alan Hunt has about a minute and a half his sin bin sentence to go, and then he will be back on the field. So Warrington will start this second half with just 12 minutes on the field, defending the kick-off from left-footed high, collected by Danny Farrar. Gisay to run his back, and Cunningham was there with Julian O'Neill, the first tackle of the second half. Lee Penny now for the Warrington.
It's been a real battle royal, hasn't it, between Cunningham and the Frenchman Gisay. More to come, I'm sure. Pretty solid defence, especially from Warrington for about 15 minutes in that first half, but his problem, Eddie, was in and around the ruck area. First and second markers, they were being caught by the mere fact that St. Helens were playing the football extremely quickly.
This is McCurry, over the halfway line. More been there with the tackle to help out Tommy Martin. I just wonder whether Darrell van der Velde will be happier with the Warrington defence at the moment. They only got the Giants, Salford and Wakefield, who have conceded more tries this year, but he appears over the past month anyway to have really tightened this defence. All right, conceded 3 tries as Alan Hunt waits to come to the action. Perra and Tuolangi somehow held on to that football, but I just wonder if that is a cause of, well, not celebration for Darrell van der Velde, but a little less cause for concern. Well, down injured.
More concern is the fact that I think it was Andrew G that came late. It wasn't a because the first attempted Warrington player released him. You can see that Lee Breers had released him, and Andrew G just the full-back well, and getting back to that point in defence, Eddie, we've seen throughout that Warrington's biggest problem is that they don't get out of the block for the full 40 minutes in a half. And as much that you have a good defence for 15, 20 minutes, it has to be throughout the first period.
Alan Hunt is back, there he is, first touch since he came out of the sin bin. And Cunningham, the Towsier, and joined to pull him down. Farrar to Alan Langer. Langer, ooh, from Hoppy.
No doubt about it either. Langer and Hoppy arrived. Perry caught it. He picked him out, did Hoppy. He knew that Langer was going to offload late. And then far too high. Quite a few of those.
Well, it would be a real tonic for Warrington if they could get over the whitewash here. This set there now 12 minutes away from the St. Helens try line. It's with Farrar. Ball's come out. Someone else is in the bin, and it's Julian O'Neill.
Tit for tat.
In the bin. They've been warned, and Johnson is consistent with the call tonight on this one.
Quite clearly could see the right arm deliberately pushed the chest. Inevitably the football will always be. He's about to play the ball. So it's the Saints now have to struggle with one man down.
In possession with Breers. Away from Iro. Tuolangi was there. Iro gets him second occasion. Farrar, the dummy half, looks inside and he sees Nick out taking on Cunningham out here. Grounded 10 metres away from the line. Farrar to Langer. Langer delayed, floating the pass wide. Eventually didn't found Penny. Then Langer comes back on the loop to return. Langer once more. Tackled by Cunningham. That's where he started.
Good job the hooker was there as well.
Here's Farrar. It's now with Breers. Breers doing a knot. All down just short of the line. They are so close, Warrington. Another bit of interference to play the ball.
Should have been a penalty.
Oh, he's got the knock on, according to John Connolly.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that
Or mine.
interfered there. Watch the arm from Long.
Maybe we do Mr. Long with the service. Andrew G was talking out of turn. Mr. Connolly, it's a penalty, and St.
could actually get a fingertip to that. This should be head and feet the same as the official seen it. I think the replay proved quite convincingly that certainly was touched, yes. There's got to the official.
Yes, it's St Helens. Well, it's been a busy opening 5 minutes to the half. We're a bit late in getting the half-time news, but it's coming now, and...
Well, Lee Millwood says 15 minutes will show us who wants this game more. He's pleased with the way the Saints have worked so far.
Intercepted! Alan Hunt for the corner, will score here. Warrington get first blood, second half. Sean Long's pass read perfectly by Alan Hunt. And Warrington will not go to sleep. Formerly with Helens, of course, Alan Hunt. And Long's pass telegraphed. And Hunt scoots in for the try.
Howard's watching the video. It's paid off. They do this ever so often. Use the dummy runner through, delay the pass on the second phase of attack. Alan Hunt ready to perfection. The dummy there, that allowed Alan Hunt the space. Nikau gave Mr. Long a pat on the back. Says thank you very much. If you dummy like that, you're always going to be susceptible to stand in that area. And Alan Hunt took it. A bit like Brad Fittler on Saturday for the Roosters. Turned the game. Could he do the same?
Well, Breas with this kick. You say that Tawera Nikau gave Long a pat on the back. I'm not so sure he didn't pull him back. But Breas adds the extra two. And it's 16-12 to the... But Warrington, first blood, second half.
I think you'll find that Nikau
Watch as he passes the ball. Watch here now. There.
just held him pat on the back. That's fair enough. There's no way in the world that Sean Long could have stopped this.
Off the knees of Farah. And Farah takes the tackle 22 metres from his own line. Well, it's risky to leave the match at all, but we're going to again, Angela, and half-time news.
Yeah, as I said, Ian Millwood said the first 15 minutes of this half will show who wants it more, and I think we've seen so far that they both want it really, really well. Saints have worked well so far, he says, and he wants all that he can and more from them. He says it's a fast and physical game, and he wants them to go out and enjoy this. I don't think they've been enjoying it very much so far, though. Delvan's been clearly upset with some of the rest decisions. He believes the Wolves have been on the rough end of some of them, but is generally happy with the team performances. A man down in the first half and under pressure, he believes he kept the score to a winnable level, and with some determination and character they can overcome speed and strength and win this game.
Well, they're off to a perfect start in the second half, but Joey Lovers just dropped the ball. That's why we had the scrum, and this is why Iro is in position. Breas didn't get a hand on him. Penny, so too did Alan Hunt. Long, the dummy half. Paul Wellens, the young fullback.
Well, Saints would be better served to get back to basics, forwards, and really rampage down, trying to pull the defence into one section of the field. Then the magic of Sean Long, Tommy Martin can produce something perhaps for the strength of this man. Kieran Cunningham.
Meters away. Scott to Long. Wide it goes to Tommy Martin. Martin scooting inside. Hat-trick time! Hat-trick time for Tommy Martin! He did it at Wigan in far more dramatic circumstances. But Tommy Martin then just tiptoed his way to the line. That's the third of the 4 tries Saints have scored tonight, and the 3 of them to Tommy Martin.
Good serve by Cunningham. Allow the three-quarter line to give this man the opportunity. Combination of the two half-backs. How many times does that serve them well? To the dummy and the step. Gets the hat-trick. Well, it's amazing. He has become a cult hero here. The Saints fans that love him. It's hard to think that 7 months ago they wanted to get rid of him.
Long to add 2 more points, he hopes. Missed with a kick way out the touchline. This far closer to the post, and he gets the extras. 22-12. St Helens 10 points restored, but Tommy Martin. The fourth of his career, the third of his St Helens life.
Basic principles of rugby league football, the surge from the forward onto the right-hand side. It was done by Cunningham to perfection. The link between the two halfbacks and produces yet another try.
Driving the ball in, again at speed. 20 metres ground, here goes Cunningham once more, pushes Gise out of the way. Lovely ball out the back door to Matautia, on it goes then to Tuisingi. Here's Sean Long now, scampering run from him. Paul Wellens, nearly through, but good tackle from Alan Langer, master, with Hoppy. Hoppy can't release. Busby and McCurry with the tackle. Sculpthorpe. Sculpthorpe stabs the ball into the open. Mark Forster has to turn, collect on his own try line. And he's lost it. Ball is lost. Foster's back.
No advance. Good work there by Tui. Was it reached out? I think it might have been reached out by Steve Hall and was Kevin Iro hanging on. This really should be a penalty. The Warrington Wolves. Unfortunate, but you could see Tuilangi there that want to take that ball in case a referee Connolly allowed advantage. The risk of going into touch.
Saints with the possession from the scrum. Here's Matautia, and there's Wellens. There's four. Right behind the six. Paul Wellens. From the base of the scrum, Warrington's defence was nowhere. Then a smile from the man celebrating his birthday. Wellens with a try. Number 11 of the campaign for the 20-year-old fullback.
Well, I think it's been badly done to here. I think this should have been a penalty. I thought that ball was reached out by Hall. Either way, from the scrum base. And when you bring out a big forward like that, not put him in the pack, and he provides a pass. So simple. The crowd here chanted easy, and it was. It was Drew, Lee Penny, no one within Cooey. Not so sure that the Australian coach Ian Millwood would take too kindly to Mr. Wellens celebrating in such a fashion. Get the ball down first, celebrate as long as you like, but not before.
Long shaping for the conversion. He adds the extra two, and as he added those extra two to make it 28-12, Neil came back. His sin bin complete. And so, St Helens now back to a full complement, and 12, and the look on Ian Millwood's face, he seems to think the match is in Saints' pocket.
Well, that's a sliding defence that has not bothered to slide across. You can see Penny there. Gap. How many double-decker buses could you put through there? 7 perhaps.
Cunningham to Matautia. Matautia, 14-metre mark. Cunningham to Sculthorpe. Oh, the touchdown to ribbons now. Iro's home. Well, a big smile from the birthday boy, and the 4 points from his New Zealand capture. He's just agreed in New Zealand to stay at Knowsley Road, and 17 tries this year. Kevin Iro.
Well, Farrell was down injured. Warrington down to 12 men. Good break. From the loose forward, Paul Sculthorpe. Just an element of doubt perhaps on that final pass. But this is the area where they're just cutting Warrington to pieces. They're allowing Kieran Cunningham to run for the dummy half, create the overlap. They did just that. And Iro, all the skill in the world. But as I say, a little bit of doubt about the final pass from Sculthorpe. Either way, the official said it's okay.
Kevin Iro, the third try in 5 minutes for St Helens. They are that sort of a team. Danny Farah is still receiving treatment as Sean Long lines up this latest conversion attempt. Sun bouncing back into the eyes of Sean Long from the glass windows at that end of the ground. Doesn't matter though. Darryl van der Velde, who must know that the game might be beyond his men.
He's down injured, but watch how slow the first and second markers go. Now Cunningham just cuts them to ribbons. Creates the gap. First goal, but that was forward. Shot proved it. I thought there was an element of doubt. The officials have missed that one. Saints won't be worrying about it though. The Wolves will. Already heard that Darryl van der Velde, the coach, far from impressed with some of the decisions from John Connolly.
He's got them now offside.
Well, let's hope that Warrington do not compete. Oh, what a great kick. They are on fire.
And here they come again with Joint. Joint. Someone's in the bin. And it's Andrew G, I think. Yes. Andrew G's in the bin. Well, Alan Langer is querying the decision, so is Andrew G. I think he's been sent to the for not retreating after the penalty restart.
Done the tackle. The only thing I can think of is that...
He wasn't back to Steve. It was a kick to touch from the penalty. And he was actually almost in front of Chris Joyce. Well, here comes Saints again. They're running riot now. They are running riot now. Cunningham. The wheels have suddenly fallen off for Warrington. Kieran Cunningham, the latest try. The fourth of this second half, right behind the post.
Basic principles on the referee not being utilised by Warrington. Their defence was absolutely all at sea. The ability to just run forward, offload, go back on the dummy. Great work though by the skipper. They posed the question, and the hope was that Warrington would not capitulate, and the way that the Saints are running now, it's going to be very difficult for them. Plenty of time to go too.
Long from bang in front, doesn't make those mistakes. Tries. Cunningham to 7. Still over a quarter of the match to go. Every picture tells its own story. Darryl van der Velde desolate. Saints running riot. 40-12.
Must be pleased as well, especially after the fact that that man's hopes were raised somewhat when Alan Hunt intercepted Sean Long's pass early in this second half. There was a hint that they were on the fight back, but ever since then they really have been on the back foot. And when you see Saints in this mood, Eddie, anything can happen.
Well, it can. 138 points in the last 3 home games for Ian Millwood's men. 50 against Warrington last time. 42 against Castleford. 42 against London. 40 here today. Although Julian O'Neill has just lost that ball in the tackle.
Lost it just before then. Spotted by John Connolly. The relief for the Wolves really were on the back foot. Apart from the intercept, as I mentioned, from Alan Hunt, they've really troubled the St. Helens defence since the second half.
Gise gets his feet. Here now is Steve McCurry. It's with Langer. Nick out. Nick Frears to Hunt. Oh, and Hunt has lost the foot. Hall got the tackle. Nick out again. Joint got to him with help from Sculthorpe.
Oh, that's dangerous, lashing out with the boot. He hasn't stamped his authority on the game at all as to where it is.
Oh, this is a lovely run from Breers. Stabs the ball forward off the boot of Wellens. He picks it up cleanly. Here they come again. Hall behind him. Good tackle by...
Great play by the centre then, but wonderful footwork from the fullback Paul Wellens.
Long to Iro. Penny, Sullivan dummy. Sculthorpe stabs it through, looking for Martin. Sullivan's after it. Sullivan misses it. The referee will hand it on to the video, I think. Sullivan says he scored. His reaction, he's clapping, he says he scored.
Well, there was a man in front of the kicker, but he was taken out by a Warrington player. Nice option with a kick. Here, Sculthorpe puts
Martin's the man out wide.
He's offside, but good referee by John Connolly, because he did shout to Martin saying, do not interfere, but he's offside there. As soon as he makes contact, yep.
Well, it's millimetres, that.
By the way.
Sure. I think it's the ground. It's the big problem, isn't it? Sullivan thinks he's scored it.
Well, if he has, fingertip control. That's play on. No.
Well, Tommy Martin, his reaction was immediate at the JJC Stadium, remember, with that famous try not long ago.
Well, I know that Mr. Sullivan has got very long nails, but not that long. See the look of anguish on the flying winger.
Well, the players have all lined up for a tap restart on the 20-metre line. They've watched that as we have, and they're ready to restart the game. All we need is the video referees to restart. It's a 20-metre tap for Warrington. 20 minutes remain. St Helens 40, Warrington 12. Necker with the tackle. Necker rather tackled by Neil and Cunningham. Here's Busby. Ooh! Big hit by Cunningham. Busby just bounced up. McCurry! Ball goes to ground again, swooped on by Matautia. Referee will bring it back for the original knock-on. Matautia brings the ball to Alan Langer then.
Good break from McCurry. But I don't know where the knock-on has come from.
He's got it against here, again on McCurry. Didn't see it.
To be fair, the Wallens were just making the tackle. Either way, eagle eye of John Connolly has seen it.
So Warrington in possession with Hunt.
Oh. Well, that's going to...
Yes, he's blown him. He consulted the touch judge.
He's lost control of it.
Didn't go back, no.
No. As soon as he loses it, it's going forward. That's one time you can't use the momentum rule for the knock-on.
Come on, let's pick it up.
We did see it earlier in the season.
Don't start again. Anthony Stewart just on as substitute for St Helens. Well, for those votes of yours, man of the match, 09009 1010 15, make your choice now, and I think you will be looking for a sting. Can't see any comeback for Warrington.
By from Tuesday.
Yes, it was Dwayne West bundled into touch with the football.
Pretty high from Corey Love, but they finally got to it. McCurry's considerable weight. Scores. Well, there was a break from McCurry that lifted the spirits of the Warrington side. But they look somewhat despondent. Not surprising with a score 40 points to 12. Great defence there from Hall.
Yes, good tackle on Hunt. This is Breers. Now it's with Forster. 10 metres inside the St Helens half. Mark Forster gets back to his feet eventually. Paul Noon. There's Langer. Wide it goes to Kise. Intercept! He's away, Dwayne. Dwayne West celebrating and scoring. Right underneath the black dot. Dwayne West with a try. Another interception. Saw one in this half from Alan Hunt. There's another from Dwayne West.
Well, this was so far forward that it was a virtual gift for Dwayne West. And all the pace in the world, he was going to get there. Again, we see the celebration, but wide shot there. Perfect pass, but to the wrong guy. Well taken.
Not a bad strike for Dwayne West. Third try of the year. Arrived here from Wigan in June. So Long again is bang in front of the six, and St Helens have 2 more points. The awful run of Warrington against St Helens in Super League will continue and last to another year. 46-12 now. And plenty of time for the Saints to add to that total.
Well, you see the high shot quite clearly. He was going forward. He had to move a couple of inches before the ball hit this guy's chest. They still like to celebrate, don't they? They wouldn't be celebrating if they lost the football.
Penalty on halfway. Quick tap by Hoppy. By Lee Penny.
He's ready to Hoppy. He just got on with the game.
Sculp Stewart. Oh, the alarming holes now in this defence. This is Cunningham. Gave it to Sculthorpe. The ball hit the second. Nothing else. No hands on it.
Well, they're toying now. Far too many of the Warrington players going high. And that's the reason why Cunningham is having the time of his life. Come and get me, he says. But he can.
10 metres. Sculthorpe spins the ball. It goes wide to Martin. Martin then wide to join, but off his fingertips into the arms of Langer on the bounce. First man to hit.
A little bit too fancy there. The ball was going far too high. The sad part about it is that they had the overlap. No chance for Chris Joyner to take that. Far too high was the pass.
Nick out tackled by Anthony Stewart. Alan Hunt, dummy half.
Tried to milk the penalty there to Wira Nick out.
Busby plays it to Noon. Noon then to Breers. Dab through. Forsters after it. Long will win this race, but he's behind his own line. Oh, risky business finds Wellens. Wellens trapped in goal. Drop out coming up.
A little bit too fancy there. Very risky indeed. But good chase though. The big kick. They've got a pretty convincing lead, but they do sometimes try to be a little bit too fancy, don't they? Attention being given to Cunningham. He caught a bit of a knock. Trying to get back for the tackle in defence.
Fourth goal line drop out, and to each side. Here's Andrew G. Back out of the sin bin. Noon at dummy half. Nikau the runner. Tackled by Hoppy. It's now with Noon again. Stankovic there. Stankovic and Cunningham. Gisay.
Solid defence.
Sliding to the ground. Joint finished him off.
Neil Millwood would be very pleased with this.
This is Mike Peters. Back it goes. Well there to keep that going to Cohen, who's been quiet. Breers stabs the kick through and Busby's got it.
Be a try.
Dean Busby touches down, but he wants to check the offside. And I think the ground is fine. It's just whether Busby was on or offside.
Neat kick from Breers. Yeah, he's okay. Breers is well over the 10-metre line. You can see Busby just to the left of your screen. He's behind there. Consolation try. Does he get it down? If there's any problems with that, yeah, okay. What is it? Oh, seen the ball pop out.
Yes, it popped out the back door, didn't it? No.
Well, there were controversial try disallowed in Australia this morning, but I think the nod. Didn't see. Didn't down in Sydney.
Try is given to Dean Busby. Adjacent to the posts. As you say, consolation for Dean Busby, formerly, of course, with St Helens. He was dogged by injury here, but he has scored a fine try, courtesy of Breer's kick.
To be fair to Breers, he has tried throughout this match to get some combination going with the experienced Alan Langer, of course, and that's well plotted.
Breers had the extras, so it was a former Helens 1-2 there. Breers with the kick, Busby with the try, and then Breers adding the extras, 46-18.
Neat play. He has thrown everything at Saints. It's been difficult. There's a try scorer. Let them down yet again. Finally, Neat telling that he's on the end of a fair old hiding tonight.
Well, Warrington missing far too many tackles.
26 is something to do.
There's another mistake by St Helens. Paul Scott knocked the ball forward then as to play the ball.
He didn't knock it on. He just didn't play it right. He came off the knee of Alan Hunt.
Came off on's knee.
Still, he is solely responsible for the retention of the football, according to the laws, with regards to the referee's interpretation of those laws.
So we love then for Warrington on halfway.
Well, can they finish with some sort of flourish? It's been a real up and down year for them.
That's good hands from Curry to Hunt, and Anthony Stewart with a good tackle. Plays it quickly, Noon. Breers. Trying to jink inside, Hoppy out here. Impossible. Issei, Langer, Andrew G. Nick out. Mike Peters. That's the last. They ran it. The power play.
All full credit to the substitute Peters.
The match vote should now be cast. Lines are still open, will be for 10 minutes or so. 09009 10 13. White with the red V down the front. Long to he's dropped it. Forster has it back for Warrington.
Well, they really don't have to force that sort of pass deep within their own half. Say, a few questions asked by the coach, Ian Millwood. They're trying to throw the long ball out there. Okay, extra points is one thing, but still play good, solid, basic football. Or he's come up with a knock-on again. And if look, could kill. Kerry. Mr. McCurry has a very, very long hard look at his colleague. Night. Really hasn't been his season. Very few on the Warrington side.
Here now is Sean Long.
The tackle from Lee Penny.
Been done then for going to be penalised for lifting the legs. Chris Joynes, who will play Wood.
Real straight in there.
Flatter in the knee by Lee Penny.
We can do without that. The game has gone as a contest, and not so sure that Chris Joynes had stopped moving. Certainly went for the elbow and then I think the knee's going. To be fair, certainly been using the whistle, hasn't he, tonight? In one of those games, at one point in the first half, I thought perhaps he might start to lose it. He certainly took control of it. But I think he might lose it in the 6.5 minutes.
Nico's in the bin.
Get the killer, man. Get away.
Well, to be fair, he's been walking the tightrope. And he's getting a few choice words of say encouragement from the St. Helens players. Plays it hard and tough. Not impressed, Donald van der Velde.
Okay.
I get the impression, Eddie, I don't think Mr. van der Velde will be too impressed with the Murray whistleblower. I don't think he'll call it to Murray.
No, I don't think so. I wonder if he'll walk away from Angela in the interview at the end as well, as he is prone to do. Cunningham plays it eventually to Martin. Here is Joint. Now it's with Long. Long then to Wellens. Wellens trying to come inside, and Curry did well on the deck. It's with Long again. Joint. Back it goes to Hoppy. There's Wellens. Wellens through a dummy, then passed it to Cunningham. Cunningham. Back goes again to Hoppy. Here's. There's another try. Stankovic. 4 more for St. Helens. He's given it to the video referee. Was there anything happening off the ball? John Connolly wants to know.
Good play though by Saints. They kept this ball alive. The ability to work. Throws a dummy and hesitation time yet again. The step. The time of his life was Cunningham. No problem for mine. It's TRY time. Trying to claim that Joint takes someone out. But I think you'll find that it's Alan Hunt hanging on the back of Joint. The referee. Don't be any doubts about this. They have a look at it.
Oh, they're saying, I think Warrington are claiming that Alan Hunt is
Has
being
been
impeded by Chris Joint.
Yeah, but I think you'll find that Alan Hunt just takes a piggyback and makes a real meal of it.
You can't deny them that, surely.
As far as I can see, no. But we have some unusual calls in here. Surely TRY.
And it is. St. Helens get another. Stankovic with the try. He's featured in 17 of 23 in Super League, 18 of 24 now. And Sean Long with the conversion. Doesn't miss those. 52-18. Saints, the entertainer of the Super League again.
Not a happy hunting ground for them. And the Wolves come here. They don't get many rich pickings. But the ability of this man and all the Saints players to offload. Good team effort there. Well, there's been many stars, especially in the first half, Tommy Martin, but you have to agree, Eddie, that Kieran Cunningham has just run this show from dummy. Created so much.
He has. He's been in the thick of the battle. And Sean Long now. He has kicked 8 goals tonight. He is now on 999 points for St. Helens. He's 1 away from the 1,000. What a signing he has been. And here he goes again. But the pass this time to the wrong jersey.
It was on as well. Good acceleration from a standing start. Wellens had just overrun. Oh, a kick early in the tackle. That'll be a knock on.
It is. Dwayne West. Getting down bravely where the boots were flying.
Already well, but just ricocheted the wrong way. Took his try well. He was in the right position, though it was such a forward pass, it virtually was going straight towards his chest when he took that intercept.
Kick downfield, collected by Long.
Well, Alan Hunt tried to get himself a penalty. The collision with Steve Hall, and I think Steve Hall has come off worse. Problem with his left arm, and he's in a lot of trouble Steve Hall, who made a collision with Alan Hunt there after the kick was chipped over the top.
It's now with Paul Sculthorpe, and there's West again. And Toy Love giving West a bit of treatment, and Paul Sculthorpe didn't like that. Martin to Long to Stankovic, Stankovic to Sullivan, Sullivan to Stewart, he hangs on. Stewart trying to release the pass.
Good work from Breers there. He stuck to Stewart like a limpet mine. Here's a kick.
High kick from Long. Ball's bounce. Saints have another, I think. And Paul Sculthorpe looks like he has scored against his former club. And he has. Well, the kick from Sean Long caused pandemonium. And he's going to kick his 1000th career point for St Helens in a minute.
And fully deserved. It was a huge kick. Not the best attempt there, I'm afraid, from the winger. Massive kick. Hesitation. Willie Cowell will not want to see that a few times. Sculthorpe, the big smile on his face. He's worked hard too.
The game's costly forward when he moved to Nosey Road in 1998. He missed both meetings this year. This is an important kick for Sean Long personally. If he notches this, he'll pass the 1000-point mark for St Helens. It's academic in terms of tonight's match, but that's 4 figures now for Sean Long. 1001, 58-18. St Helens 10 tries. They've had a smashing night. Warrington, I'm afraid, it's a night to forget.
Typifies their season, their performance. Certain parts of the game they have tried. The
Ian
crowd
Milwood applauding the 1000th point. Sean Long.
Just been informed that that's it. Just squeezed it in, 1001 before the hood went.
Top 5 done and dusted. St Helens go second. Castleford and Leeds, Bradford, Wigan and Saints will contest the top 5 come the end of the season. But we've got some blockbuster matches to bring you before all that starts. Chris Joint's team of champions will contest the series that will lead to Old Trafford on the 14th of October. Warrington now, we can say, absolutely, conclusively and finally they won't. The top 5, the big 5, with eyes on Old Trafford, and Sean Long, over 1,000 points now for the St Helens. Still to come tonight, following us on Sky Sports 1, 8:45, goals on Sunday. A roundup of all the weekend's goals. Sky Sports 2 now, live golf, final day of the USPGA Championship. Sky Sports 3 tonight from 8:30, cricket highlights. The first test between England and Australia in 1997. And on Sky Sports Extra now, cricket highlights from this morning's one-day international between the Aussies and South Africa. All that's still to come tonight here on Sky Sports. But St Helens are celebrating another big win against Warrington. Paul Sculthorpe with the last try. Sean Long with 9 successful kicks. 58 points to 18 is the final reckoning. And Saints have hit the half-century again. Ian Milwood is on the pitch with his players to enjoy the moment and celebrate his 40th birthday. What a present his men have given him. A big win against Warrington's Wolves.
You may not be aware of these catchphrases yet.
Party in mind. Any queries? Give us a tinkle.
Hey, what? Hey, what? Hey, 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 hey. What?
But soon you won't be able to forget about them.
Yeah, people think we're sisters. Yeah. Yeah, we're not though. Mum!
Cunning little minx.
You know, Richard, I think everything's going to be all right.
Harry Enfield's brand spanking new show starts 11th of September, only on Sky One.
The card. There's Latin spirit in everyone.
It's sale time at ATS Euromaster. You'll find money off all our tyres. Up to 5% off exhausts. And free brake checks. Call 0800 60 1060 to find your nearest centre. The ATS Euromaster sale. What drives us is you.
Alpha 623, the airport is now operational. You are clear to land.
A serious mouthful of fruity juiciness. Starburst, get your juices going.
There's strength in numbers, especially when we work together. Now, there's a way of shopping together. Let's buy it.com. As the number of buyers goes up, the price goes down and down. That's firepower from Let's Buy It.com. We all get things cheaper when we buy in a group. Let's do it. Let's buy it.com.
The fastest hands in the East meet the slowest gun in the West. Jackie Chan. Ow. Shanghai Noon.
The new VX220 has been described as the sexiest car that Vauxhall have ever built. Rubbish.
It's scientifically impossible to have a natural feelings towards a car. Even if it has got a perfectly formed body or a exposed aluminium chassis. A wanton 2.2-litre engine, the subtle suspension that hugs every curve, lustfully yearning to be...
Vauxhall, raising the standard.
Well, a massive win for St Helens, 58 points to 18, and the man there who led the Tri-Fest, Tommy Martin, with his hat-trick, he picks up the Tissot watch as the man of the match, and here he is now with Angela Powers.
Tommy Martin, man of the match again. Here's your prize.
Thanks very much to Tissot for the award. Warrington pushed us all the way, and we knew it was going to be hard for the first half, but they never gave me a last time, so it was just a case of trying to bide the time, and hopefully we could just have a bit more steam left in the tank at the end of the day.
Absolutely no stopping you at the moment, is there?
Well, you know, I'm sure Wakefield will say something about that. But, you know, it was a major hiccup for us last week, but, you know, maybe it was just a time to kick up the backside that we needed.
Paul Ashby of Loughborough knows a good player when he sees one. He has named Tommy Martin as the man of the match. Paul is on his way to the grand final on the 14th of October, and I wonder whether Saints will be with him. Ian Millwood received a birthday cake from the Independent St Helens Supporters Association, presented here by his players. So what a day for Ian Millwood as he addressed the crowd. He's now left the scene. He's below stairs. Sean Long coaches there with him as well. Sean, Andy and Millwood talking now to Angela.
Sean, another championship performance out there. You must have enjoyed that.
Yeah, we did enjoy it. You know, it's good to get a win after a loss. You know what I mean? We had a bad defeat last week, but all the lads, you know, rallied. We bounced back straight away, so really pleased with the performance.
It was so emphatic as well. It must give you great pleasure to go out and play in those games.
Yeah, it was tough today. You know, that's what we need, a good physical match. You know, coming up to the playoffs, and you know, Warrington give it us, and you know, we replied in the right way.
Ian Millwood, happy birthday for this week. That was a great prize, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought we played really well under very difficult circumstances created by Warrington and also the referee. So, you know, I was very happy the way our players handled things.
Really, you've got champions written all over you, would you say?
We've got champion players and we've got champion attitude, and it's in good stead when the big games come up.
To win like that, though, it must make you feel so confident going into these playoffs.
Yeah, you know, we showed a lot of good attitude just after half-time there in regard to, you know, they scored first and we hit back, and I was very happy with that.
Well, St Helens with the mark of champions, except when they travel to Bellevue to face the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. The one thing that we can say right now is that Warrington are out of the playoffs. They won't be taking part in it, but I rather fancy that Darrell van der Velde knew that even before the bus pulled in here to Noted Road tonight. And Darrell van der Velde now wonders if he'll go on walkabouts again. He's talking to Angela.
Darrell, your reaction after that?
Yeah, we're comprehensively beaten all over the park. You know, first half we really fuel up. We had a lot of penalties against us and burned a lot of fuel up. Back in the second half, they took advantage of it.
That means top 5.
Yeah,
Definitely out your league.
It's all over. Yeah, but still, you know, it's still got to try and finish above Hull. We're still 1 point Hull. They're in 6th position, so it's very, very important for us to finish the season off.
What about that finish, though? Do you feel that Warrington do really have something to show people out there?
Well, you know, obviously, you know, we've been disappointed this year. We've been the underachievers of the competition. I've got no doubt about that. And it's up to the players now to finish off. We've got 4 games to go. We've got to try and win every game.
Well, he didn't go walkabouts this time, Darrell. Good on you. But he set the stall out there for the end of the season as far as Warrington are concerned. 4 victories, and then he believes his team will sit above Hull in 6th place in the table. But the top 5, it's done and dusted, Steve. We know who's going to be in the playoffs now.
Yeah, they've been disappointment, haven't they, Warrington Wolves, and I'm sure that Darrell van der Velde and their players will look back on the season, and how they played today really epitomised how they played throughout the year. You cannot play just in fits and starts. You've got to play for the full 80 minutes, and I'm afraid they only do come in the 10 minutes and maybe 15 at the most. And Eddie, you cannot afford to do things like that. Though they did have an opportunity, didn't they? They raised their spirits when Alan Hunt made the intercept for the first try. Sean Long, they were trying to force a pass all the time, Saints, and why not? They virtually had this game well and truly won. But when Hunt made this intercept, there was perhaps just a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. But this man, Tommy Martin, the combination between him and Sean Long really has cut so many defences apart. And Martin in for what was to be his hat-trick on that occasion. And it was just really a matter of time. It was an error from Forster that allowed Matauti to slip the pass to Wellens. Matauti is standing out of the scrum as though it was a stand-off. Worked well. But this guy just run riot, didn't he? Cunningham created the half-break for Sculthorpe, kept it cool. And the big fella, Iro, no one nearing. It was just a matter of how many after that. And Joint, look at this. Stepped on the inside, passed to Cunningham. Fully deserved that, did the hooker. Tommy Martin, of course, rightly so in many ways, to score a hat-trick that you're nominated by the opposition as the man most likely to have brought about your defeat. But I thought that the St Helens, especially in that second half, some of their teamwork was quite outstanding. Their ability to keep the ball alive was outstanding, and full credit to their coach, Ian Millwood. But getting back to the Tommy Martin situation, I thought that Kieran Cunningham, he controlled things out there, as he does from time to time. He had a superb game, but so did all the team.
Yes, great performance from St Helens, and Ian Millwood, as you saw on the interview, they're well pleased. And it's amazing what happens over the course of a season, isn't it? 12 months ago, the fans were shouting, "There's only one Ellery Hanley." Tonight, they're singing, "There's only one Ian Millwood." There are very short memories in sport, aren't there?
They certainly do, but they still dislike me. They don't have that short a memory, I must say.
They are not on their own there, I can tell you that.
But they were extremely joyous, and of course, yes, Well, 1 week is a long time in rugby league, as Ian Millwood found out last week. He went down to the Wildcats, but full credit to them. We anticipated that they would come back with vengeance, and they certainly did, and they made the Warrington Bulls pay. But there again, you go back to the fact that Warrington cannot afford, doesn't matter how many players you buy from overseas, you have to play for the full 80 minutes.
Yeah, Warrington have been the underachievers. Darryl van der Velde on the interview, he said so himself. They've underachieved this year, and there were such high hopes, I can tell you, in the Warrington town before the season got going.
Yeah, without a doubt, and I think that all those buys, I think you can only point the finger at Alan Langer, that to my mind has really given value for money, and it didn't surprise me that Tawira Nikau was sent to the sin bin. He really was, well, you didn't see much of him throughout this game, and to be quite fair, I don't think we've seen much of him throughout this season.
Okay, there it is. That's the story then of the match here at Nosey Road. St Helens have, well, they had already clinched their place in the playoffs. Now it's just a question of where Saints, Bradford and Wigan will finish at the top, and whether it'll be Castle fourth or Leeds fifth, or vice versa. We'll have to wait and see as the next 4 weeks unfold. But there's been some pretty dramatic action taking place elsewhere in Super League this weekend. Let's bring you all the highlights of the other matches played now. Here is Rod Studd.
Bradford returned to the top of Super League, albeit temporarily, after demolishing Huddersfield Sheffield at Odsall. The game was all over as a contest within the first quarter. Henry Paul started the scoring, and Stuart Spruce quickly added a second touchdown, and it was 12-0. The game was starting to follow a familiar pattern, with the Bulls having scored 140 points in the previous 3 League and Cup meetings against the Giants. Brian McDermott went in for the 3rd try, and Bradford were rattling along at a point a minute. The 4th touchdown wasn't long in coming from Mick Withers, and let's face it, this may not be the best warm-up for the crucial winner-takes-all showdown at the JJB against Wigan. The Giants' new coach, Tony Smith, has, by his own admission, the toughest job in Super League. Chris Thorman is possibly his brightest young talent, and he did at least grab a consolation. But the joy was short-lived, as Paul Deacon scored, taking full advantage of his run in the side. 26 Bulls at half-time. The 2 points were safely in the bag, and that gave the Bulls licence to turn on the style, and they did just that. There may be no Robbie at the moment, but Henry was doing his best to make up for his younger brother's absence, scoring 2 tries and breaking Yestin Harris's record for most goals in the Super League season. The Giants, without injured trio Clinch, Gleeson and Turner, were always fighting a losing battle, but on loan winger Leroy Rivett did grab a try. But every time Huddersfield Sheffield scored, the Bulls came storming straight back. Tavita Vaikona had missed 1 or 2 try-scoring chances, but not this one. 40 points to 10. The Giants will feel they still have some hope of avoiding bottom spot in Super League 5. After all, they're still just 4 points behind the struggling London Broncos. And they're capable of scoring some useful tries. Dale Cordoza with this one. But they simply can't win games shipping in the number of points they are at the other end of the field. Brian McDermott barged his way over for another Bulls try. And keeping it in the pack, Jamie Peacock scored the last Bulls touchdown of the night, taking his side past 50 for the 7th time in Super League 5. The Giants' caretaker coaches, Phil Vevers and Jeff Hardy, certainly had precious little to smile about at Odsall. But Hardy himself did score the final try of the game, and possibly the winner of Super League 5's bizarre try of the season award. The Bulls were top of the table for less than 48 hours, as Wigan resumed their position at the summit by winning at the Willows. But it was hard graft for Frank Endicott's side, despite racing into an early lead thanks to Mark Smith. And the 6-point advantage soon turned into 12, thanks to Mick Cassidy's touchdown. When the sides last met at Salford early on in the season, the Warriors won 32-0 and a repeat looked on. But Salford weren't about to lie down and have their tummy tickled. Fullback Gary Broadbent dived over. Chris Ratlinski has been Wigan's man of the moment, going to 100 career tries last weekend, and 101 wasn't long in coming. And nor, in fact, was 102. And the Warriors were well on their way to completing a hat-trick of victories this season over the Reds,